Cellular respiration is the process that creates energy from the glucose we consume. This happens in 4 stages: glycolysis, formation of acetyl-CoA, the Krebs cycle, and the electron transport chain. ATP, or adenosine triphosphate, is the main source of energy in biological systems. Ideally, 38 ATP will be created during cellular respiration. The first stage of cellular respiration is glycolysis. This takes place in the cytoplasm of a cell. Glycolysis is the breaking down of glucose. Glucose has 6 carbons. During glycolysis, 2 ATPs and 2 NAD pluses are used to break the 6-carbon compound into 2 3-carbon compounds, each having a phosphate group attached. These 2 compounds then reconfigure into pyruvates. 2 ATPs and an NADH, which is a reduced version of NAD+, come from the formation of each of these pyruvates. Basically, through the process of glycolysis, you start with glucose, 2 NAD+, and 2 ATP, and end up gaining 2 pyruvate, 2 more ATP, and an NADH. The second stage of cellular respiration is the formation of acetyl coenzyme A, or acetyl-CoA. This takes place in the mitochondria. The formation of acetyl-CoA happens twice for every molecule of glucose because of the 2 pyruvates formed. For each of the pyruvates, 1 carbon molecule is taken away, which makes them into acetyl-CoA and creates CO2. This process also turns NAD+ into NADH. The formation of acetyl-CoA is basically preparation for the Krebs cycle. It takes the 2 pyruvates and NAD+ and produces acetyl-CoA and NADH. Then it's time for stage 3, the Krebs cycle. This takes place in the matrix of the mitochondria. Once again, everything in the Krebs cycle happens once for each of the 2 acetyl-CoA formed. First, the acetyl-CoA combines with oxaloacetic acid to form citric acid. This citric acid becomes oxidized through many steps to turn back into oxaloacetic acid. Through this oxidation process, 2 carbons are removed since citric acid is a 6-carbon molecule and oxaloacetic acid is a 4-carbon molecule. This cycle also reduces NAD+ to NADH, ADP to ATP, and FAD to FADH2. The result of the Krebs cycle is that for each turn, 3 NAD+ get reduced to NADH, an ADP turns into an ATP, and an FAD turns into an FADH2. Once again, this happens twice because this is for each of the acetyl-CoA, so in total you'll end up with 6 NADH, 2 ATP, and 2 FADH2. Stage 4 is the ETC, which takes place in the inner membrane of the mitochondria. Oxidative phosphorylation is the oxidation of coenzymes, which releases high amounts of energy. When NADH gets reduced to NAD, there's a hydrogen molecule and 2 electrons. In the crista, there is a phospholipid bilayer. Enzymes and protein complexes move through this bilayer, which makes oxidative phosphorylation possible. Compounds like NADH get oxidized in the ETC, which gets rid of its protons and electrons. These electrons get transferred from acceptor to acceptor, which releases the energy. This energy then pushes protons from the matrix to the other side of the crista. To get back to the matrix where there's a negative charge, the protons move back through the crista, causing an enzyme called ATP synthase to rotate in a way that makes an ADP and a phosphate group combine to create ATP. Basically, the ETC takes NADH and FADH2 and puts them through oxidative phosphorylation, which produces the energy to combine ADP with a phosphate group, which then produces a maximum of 36 ATP. Cellular respiration constantly happens in your cells throughout the day to give you the energy to do basic things like eat, talk, and even watch this video.